Hey everybody, I'm going to do something now I have never done before, and I actually swore that I would never do something so ridiculous, but I'm actually going to do it, just because I want to be part of the YouTube crowd that spends their life making videos about these things. Um, this will be the very first and probably only time I'm going to do an unboxing video. And I thought you might be interested to see this because it regards, of course, my guitar equipment. As you know, I'm busking now and using the trainer amp. And that amp I've been using since 2015. It has served me well, but that's the one you see in all my videos, the black amp on the street. And it was working fine up until 2019. You'd have noticed me banging the amp. And the problem is that the volume is starting to drop out while I'm playing. This is really irritating. I've been mixing my songs after the shows, and there's a waveform pattern that starts high and then slowly drops down, kind of like the stock market is going right now. And that's through a 45-minute jam. So I have to make these compensations for the volume, and I don't know why this is happening. Sometimes it'll start distorting, and then I have to hit the amp to get the sound back. And this has been going through every show, and it's basically ruining my recordings. So I thought, okay, it might be time for a new amp. So anyway, I checked some stores to do repair work, and I'm still going to hear back from them about that. And I expect that fixing that amp would be a minimum $100. So I decided to get this amp off Amazon. I haven't looked at busking amps for years because I didn't have to, but this one looked interesting, and it is called a Cool Music BP40D. So this one looked quite good. The price was reasonable. I think it was $275. I know for my trainer, I think I paid, it must have been around $300. Now that's a 50-watt amp, and that's very important for me. The wattage has to be there because I'm playing in such a busy area where it is very loud. And I've tried amps at 20 watts, and they just don't cut it. They don't get any bass response. Now this one apparently is supposed to be 80 watts. I find that hard to believe. But it's a bit smaller than the trainer, but it has a few more features. You can plug in a microphone, have a singer there. And of course it's battery powered, and I believe this one is lithium batteries, which is also very important. I'm running a lithium on my trainer, which I had to do myself because it originally had a lead acid battery, and that thing was terrible because if you don't charge the lead acid batteries properly, or you store them without charging them for a long time, they start to die and their life is greatly reduced. Now this has happened at least 3 or 4 times. I'd be taking the winter off, and then I would forget to charge it, and then the battery would die out because it wasn't charged or stored properly. And I'd be taking it back to the store where I got the amp, and I think they even replaced it for me like 2 or 3 times because it was still under warranty. And it turns out, of course, it was not a problem with the battery, it was with the charging of the battery. And then I'd be out there playing for 2 hours, and it would go dead. So lead acid battery, very bad idea. I would never ever again use a battery like that. And thankfully, these newer amps don't use them anymore. I started researching lithium batteries, and I found a store here in Vancouver called Polar Battery, where I was able to get a 5Ah lithium battery for, I don't know, $120. And this is about 3 years ago. They have since come down quite a bit in price. I think now you can get one on Amazon for no more than 40 or 50 for the same charge. 5Ah. Now I just found out that this amp has a 3 Ah lithium battery in it, and I'm hoping that is going to be enough. I was hoping to get 5, but like I say, I've never run out my 5 Ah battery on my amp, and I have played 7 hours, I think, was the max I did back in 2019. So as long as I can get at least 4 solid hours, I'll be happy. It has the side port here for the bass. So this is a company I have not even heard of until I looked it up on Amazon. And it has some good reviews, and it is definitely smaller, so that's really my issue with these amps, is how loud are they for the size? Because I've tried small ones like this and I didn't get anywhere with them. Now this one is nice because it's weighing at least 12 pounds less than the Trainer. The Trainer is a massive beast and it takes up a lot of room on my bike. I have to put it in the box. Then I throw all my pedals and water bottle in there. So once I've got the amp in there, plus all the things I'm carrying, pedals, water, it's at least 35 pounds. Water bottle, wah pedal, Zen drive, assorted cables, the iPad that I use for backing tracks. So I can barely carry it. And then it's got to be strapped down with 2 bungee cords really securely. So here's the amp. Let's take a look at the back controls. Let me see what you can do with this. Okay, headphones. That's nice. It has a record out feature. I thought this was pretty cool because this would allow me to plug my recorder in here and get a direct recording from the amp and not have to place the recorder in front of the amp on the street, which is how I've been doing it now for years. Because that, on the street, of course, you're going to still pick up street noises. It's not that bad, but I would expect the recording to be better going through this. So we've got low, mids, highs for, guitar input and vocal input. They both have reverb, gain. There's your mic input, and there's 2 inputs for 2 guitars, actually. And also keyboard line in. A DI out, amp mute button, and the charge, the power, and there's also a USB. So I think, what is this? You can run an MP3 player on here. So I think this has Bluetooth. You could probably run backing tracks from the phone and run right into this. It would be interesting to try that out, because right now I do everything through the Jam Up Pro app on the iPad. It's basically guitar goes into the iPad, the Jam Up Pro app, and the backing tracks are in that app as well. So then I run it all into the line in on the amp. So I have the guitar and the backing tracks going that way, and that's been fine. So this is much more modern than the Trainer, which they do not make anymore. The Trainer was discontinued, the 50-watt version. So this can also be put up on a speaker stand. Now maybe that's what this is. It's just, well, I don't know if this acts as a air port, but it's also to put on a speaker stand. But you could put this on the side and actually sit on it if you wanted to. So I'm going to test it and then get back to you when I have some more information about it. Hopefully I'll be able to try this out on the street this week. So, we'll see. Hopefully it'll be good because, like I say, the other amp, I have to bring it to the shop. And I'm expecting a long wait for repair times because they're backed up, probably servicing amplifiers from all the local music stores. There's like one shop in town that does this work. And they do work for Long & McQuaid, Tom Lee. So, this came with a, what is this, a bungee cord? I don't even know what that is. Let me see here. Okay, power. Oh, this is always handy. One of these. I use these running the iPad 1/8 inch jack into the back of the amplifier. Let's use those. Oh, here's a, oh, that's nice. Another extension cable. It could come in handy. Okay, so that was 1-day delivery, and I got that yesterday. So I'm going to try it out, and then I will get back to you with a review and see if this is a keeper. All right, I'm back after doing a test on this amp, and I had to work things out here a little bit. The one thing I really wanted to try out was this one here. See, it says record out. So I was thinking, yes, I would take this out into my Zoom, which is this, right? This is what I use on the street in front of the amp. So that's always a live recording. I wanted to see if I can get this live sound direct from the amp. Well, this didn't work. It would go into the input of the Zoom, and I could faintly hear, my backing track playing. And if I pulled out the connector just a little bit, I would get the sound. It was weird. I'd plug it in all the way, it would disappear. Pull it out partially, I would get the sound. So I don't know how this works. This is supposed to be for hooking up to your phone so your phone can record the signal. Now, I don't even have the plug for that. So then I just forgot about trying to get this to work and just went through the headphone one, which is the same thing which I do here when I'm recording from my pedal board and the mixer. I always use the headphone out into the Zoom to get the full signal of whatever I'm doing. So I did the same here, and of course that works. So you can set the level. And I just did a 25-minute jam to some Dire Straits 6-blade knife, and it worked. I was really amazed. I tried out all my pedals, and the sound is like a home recording. So now I'm going to have the huge bonus of being able to play on the street without any noise interference at all and get a direct recording from my live shows. So that will be, the same quality as what I'm doing at home, and that is absolutely great. I didn't even really think about that when I was getting this amp. It was more to just replace the amp because the other one was malfunctioning. So that is really a nice bonus, and you can, like, I tried setting up the guitar through the regular input. You can I can put in the iPad, which has the backing tracks on its own channel. So I could do it through the keyboard channel here, the line in. And then the guitar, you can have it just in the amp direct and use these effects for the guitar. And they sound all right. I mean, there's a chorus with varying degrees of chorus, and then the delay from 2 o'clock to 5 o'clock, and then a reverb. So those are nice to have. So you could just set up, the guitar in here separate, because normally I run the guitar through the Jam Up Pro program app on here, which has all the backing tracks. So all my guitar effects come from this into this. So that's one way of doing it, or you can keep them separate. And so that has that's nice, and you still have the mic input. So 2 guitars, keyboard in. You can hook this up to another amplifier and do MP3 and all this stuff. So anyway, that's the main thing that I discovered here, was that this works, and that's absolutely great. So no matter what noise happens on the street, I'm going to get a very clean signal now for my recordings, which will definitely help, because I'm having some problems with recordings now, mixing them as the other amp is malfunctioning, and you can only get so much good sound off the street. I mean, having the recorder in front of the amp definitely helps. I can't use the sound from the GoPro. It's pretty bad. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with it, and right now I'm just charging. You can see there's 2 green bars on there, so I'm looking forward to taking it out hopefully this week. It's supposed to rain though all week. I might not be able to get out until Friday again. So we'll see what happens. But I wasn't able to crank it really loud here in the apartment, but the bass sounded good, and no problems there. So hopefully, the only test now is how long will the battery last. I'm hoping to get at least 4 hours, because my shows are going. Well, the last one I did was 5 hours. I was pushing it. So let's say 4 hours minimum, and And I've only been, tested the volume here at half, and there's also a gain, so you can crank it up a little bit more with that. So that'll be the final test of this amp, is exactly how long it lasts when it's up at least, halfway or more. I'll let you know how that goes on the next jam session. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.